No, no, I've already got a cup of teas in. Well, no, this time I started the stream. Well, I was just about to start the stream, and it all broke. I went, oh, I can't use my mouse or my keyboard. Which was hell, because I was like, I can fix this probably if I could have access to my mouse or my keyboard. Oh, I'm gonna call to action people to get to volunteer for your groups in. For your I'm gonna get people to start volunteering to help with your organisation. Something he's poking you as well about it. Oh. Hashtag creepy sexy. You're not allowed hashtags yet as well. I've put it in the wrong place. No. Oh no, I'm the worst. That's okay. That's good. Let's close all this stuff. Let's get this out of the way. People are emailing me. Why are they emailing me? Oh, okay. Yeah. Perfect. What have I got Dogecoin on my screen? What is this? What am I looking? No, I think what we were talking about it the other day. Talking about pump and dumps and stuff. But people get to talk to you as well, Sin, today. That's going to be exciting. While you're working, yeah, you know we can. Yeah, that's okay. I'll use the soundy things. Oh, I don't think the music's coming through. Why is whoa? Why isn't the music coming through? Let's work this out. Let's work this out. Well, yeah, but I want to know why. Has it changed my sound settings again? Bloody Windows updates! Ah! Well, that should be working fine. It even says it's working fine. Why isn't it working fine? Oh, bear with me. If people want to ask a question during the live stream, just put question in brackets or topic or something so I can see it. Bear with me 1 minute so I can get this sound stuff sorted. I was all ready. Zin even complimented me and said, "Oh, you're getting ready before the stream. That's not normal, is it? You're a scrub." That's basically what she said. They can't hear you yet, Sin. That's the funny thing about that.
It's a good job they don't know what I'm saying about them then.
That's ha 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 ha. Now they should be able to hear music. Perfect. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, that's good. That's good. What? I'm gonna click on chat, and then they should be able to hear. Can people hear Zin when she speaks? Speak, Zin.
Hello, everybody. I'm
Zin.
Zinnia.
They should be able to hear you. How is the volume for everything? Is the volume for Zin good? Is the volume for me good?
I don't need to hear you.
I think they literally do. Like
I just need to look at the pretty pictures and ask questions.
I've got some funny stuff to tell you, but I can't talk about it on stream because it's not the sort of stuff you discuss on stream.
Oh.
Yeah. I need to talk to you and DC about it. It's funny stuff I've been reading. Okay, I think that's pretty good. What is the reason for having the 100 series starter ships, yet not putting them into the starter pledge store? So
Yeah.
you get artificial scarcity when they do that. So when they do come online, it's like a special occasion, and you're like, me and my
You
friends.
can't buy them at the moment, can you?
So you can't buy them in game.
Well, no, you can't buy them in the pledge store.
You can't buy them in the pledge store, no.
No.
You were able to buy them in the pledge store up until like a few days ago though, because part of the
Right.
It might have been up until the 11th, in fact, because they had them on special offer. They were like 10% off or so with a starter pack. So, yeah, they need them in the starter store permanently. Their starter ships have them in the starter store permanently. It's simple as that, isn't it, really? Otherwise,
Well,
you'll just...
maybe. I think they might do it eventually.
Well, probably. People will push them to do it. I mean, the alternative is that... Well, the probable alternative is that they are having them as a special starter pledge that they, during special sales and that sort of stuff, they go, haha, and it's available again, and people go, oh, yes, now's the good time to start because we get the special starter ship.
Quick question.
Yeah?
Have you got continuous voice activity on Mumble?
No. Why?
As I say, if you turn that on, then you won't have to key up just to talk to me, and I can just... Because I'm not going to have your stream on, because I am working.
What? Why wouldn't you have my stream on?
Okay, you'll have your stream on, but it's muted.
Okay. Oh.
What's the problem?
Is that okay? Can you hear me?
That's fine. Yeah, I can hear you.
Is it... you can hear me breathe, though.
Yeah, but so can they.
Yeah,
Surely.
But... Yeah, probably. Silence below. Let's move this up here. Like, they're seeing behind the wizard's curtain, mate, and I'm the wizard. This is... what a fresh hell magic world this is if I'm a wizard.
It's magical.
Zin can stream video at work. I know. I am a kind and generous god, aren't I? I'm so good to Zin.
Well,
I say
technically, it's still work.
What is playing Final Fantasy VIII on your Switch still work, Zin?
I'm not playing it on my Switch.
What are you playing it on?
I'm playing it on my phone. And I'm not playing it currently.
Do you realise that is literally a Zen answer? Yeah. I'm not actually playing it on the Switch. I'm playing it on my other device. So you're wrong technically. Oh wow. Yes, I'm a space wizard. I steal people's information when they're online, and only NordVPN can protect you. Plugs. Pew, pew, pew! Realised that people don't come to me to just see Star Citizen content. They come to me to see.
They come for you either.
What? They come for NordVPN. What you? How dare you? Right. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is.
Hi everyone.
Zin's here. I said, Zin, you should join me on the streams, even if you're working on editing in the background, because you know, it's like a BoredGamer family, dysfunctional brother and sister that hate each other, but not hate each other. One's rich, competent, and beautiful.
Yep.
And the other one.
The other one's you.
Oh. Yeah. It's pretty sad, really, isn't it? Yeah. So, we're going to be talking about 3.13. We'll talk about what's going on in Star Citizen Universe at the moment. Can't talk about the Evocati patch that's out at the moment. Beyond that, there is an Evocati patch in testing for 3.12.1. And that is all.
You don't even tell me about the Evocati patches.
No, and technically you are allowed to know about them because you are NDA'd for them, even though you're not an Evocati member. There's a complicated agreement between me, Zin, and CIG at the moment. I say complicated, incredibly simple. It's pretty much that. Yeah, so yeah, we can't talk about the specifics of that Evocati patch, unfortunately. But there is a 3.12.1 patch coming soon, and as you can probably assume, we're hoping to see the Xenothreat missions soon in-game. And whether or not we'll see them in-game will be based on whether Cloud Imperium can clear up any of the issues that they had from the end of last year. And as soon as they cleared those up, or at least some of them up, the ones that they deem as blockers, then they'll be in the game. That could be by the end of January. It could be sometime in February. So hopefully it won't be more than a few weeks before we get them, because me and Zin are chomping at the bit for them, because that's generally good content and something that we can do pretty regularly on stream and for gameplay and for videos. It's that and Theatres of War. Is that what are you looking forward to, like short medium terms in content wise?
Huh?
What are you looking forward to short medium term content wise for Star
Oh,
Citizen?
I'm really looking forward to the Xeno threat. Like, I'm really interested to see how that's going to play out.
Yeah, because for us it's let me adjust this slightly more, because I was talking, but I've realised I've said it so you can't hear me breathing, and that means you can't hear me talking either.
Yeah, just I don't care. Just fucking turn it off,
good.
mate.
It's good. So Xeno Threat and Theatres of War is what I was saying. What we're looking forward to, well, what I assumed you're looking forward to the most, because it's genuine regular content for us to do on stream, for getting play on videos, and it's something that actually makes people want to play Star Citizen, I hope, because they're going to be semi-exclusive, these events, and by that I mean that they will be changing, or they're likely to have these special events every quarter or every couple of quarters, and they're likely to phase them out and evolve them somewhat and then phase them back in another form. So although in the future we might get significantly better events, you're not going to get exactly the same ones, even if they are very similar. They're going to be a bit different because of the way that Star Citizen's changed. So it's good to come along for the ride, and I think we'll get a lot of people actually playing the game. Any guesses when we'll get the patch for PTU or for live? Not really. So there's a few issues that we have in the current live build in 3.12.0b, and some of that's to do with shopping, some of that's to do with desync, and that sort of stuff. So they're going to want to try and solve those and any of the other outlying major bugs that are sort of new-ish in the 3.12 branch. But there's going to be a lot of specific Xeno threat stuff that they're going to want to try and push through, in my opinion, for that new 3.12.1 patch. That would be my expectation for that. Is this for Q1 patch? So 3.13 is the Q1 patch. That's coming at the end of March. But there's also the 3.12.1 patch, which we're assuming is the Xenothreat patch that we've alluded to a variety of times before, or at least 3.12.x for Xenothreat. And that will come before that Q1 patch. So we're talking about a mini patch in the next few weeks. Xenothreat or Zinthreat, Xenothreat is probably a better pun that you could have gone through there, Reza.
Ferocious.
Ferocious. Speed boost. I'm not sure of the actual finalised Polaris systems for shields, because they might change. They have made the Polaris a bit bigger. We know that. Did you see the video of the guy catching a missile with a tractor beam? Yes, we did. It was very cool. Firing off the top of the Aurora MR, or the Aurora LN maybe, and then grabbing it before the missile actually arms and actually launches properly. That was absolutely hilarious, and alludes to there might be some cool stuff that you can do with those tractor beams. Or maybe CIG will just patch that stuff out. So you won't be aware of this, Sin, I don't think, but there was some people sort of modding the game to some extent, and he was I'm not sure if he took the patch and took it offline and then was able to spawn in Idris and javelins and ships like that. So ships that you're not supposed to be able to get into yet, or if he was actually able to do it in the live build, but basically he was modding the game in some way, or hacking the game in some way to do this. Potentially for modding, potentially for just searching through the files. So yeah, he did a couple of videos on like looking at the javelin stuff, and Star Citizen Leaks have reported that all of this guy's accounts have been nuked now by CIG.
Oh shit!
They just gone, no, this is hacking. At least this is what they've reported. So, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure if that's harsh or not. I can't tell. I mean, it is against their terms of service, because you're effectively hacking the game. But also, they did say that they wanted people to be able to mod the game in the future. And yeah, I suppose it's a fine line to walk, and maybe contact, if you do want to do any cool stuff, maybe contact CIG, and if you're looking to break into files and mess around with them. Star Citizen leaks seem to walk a good line of not breaking CIG's rules, but still being able to get a lot of their leaked content out. I mean, I disagree with the people that leak the content itself, but not necessarily with Star Citizen leaks reporting on the content, if you see what I mean. The Evocati members and the staff members that are leaking it, they bad, they naughty. But Star Citizen leaks, they're just a news outlet. Do you think there's cognitive dissonance with that, Sin? Or is that an okay opinion? What do you think? I keep on asking you, what do you think, Sin?
I don't know.
She doesn't know. She doesn't care. Sometimes Sin will just agree with me. She's like, I don't care. I wasn't listening. I was busy editing. Whatever. Do you want this video to come out today? That's the sort of thing that she would say if she wasn't on stream. But I brought you here, and now you've got to listen. And occasionally I'll be Zin, and then I'll say something. That's what I'll do. I'll catch your attention before I ask you questions.
Catch my attention and ask me more direct question rather than
talk. Yeah, because you might not be listening. No, it's fine. It's fine. Who is listening, really? So, let's have a look at some questions, if we indeed have any questions. Let's pop out the chats. Boop. So, Mike Breather, no. What is the progress being made on trading? Is it still broken? So, yeah, that's the main issue I have with the current live build. Some of the trading issues, especially the goods not necessarily being sellable / buyable, or mainly sellable locations properly, and some issues with spawning / destroyed ships, not having access to them. Those are major blockers for me. Or say major blockers, bugs that need to be solved ASAP. And I do believe that CIG are on that. So let's hope that it's fixed for 3.12.1. And let's hope that comes out within the next couple of weeks. Do you think that the C2 will be out this first half of the year? Yes. So the C2 and M2, the Hercules Starlifters, they are pegged for release for 3.13's cycle, but not for the initial 3.13 patch. So 3.13 is targeted by the end of March. So around then is when you'll get the live build of 3.13.0, and then 3.13.x is when they want to bring out the C2 and M2, and that will be before the end of June. So probably May, probably around Fleet Week. But it could be earlier. Yesterday seemed super buggy. Any idea why? Probably a mixture of them testing various things, including Evo stuff. Would be my expectation that they can sometimes affect servers. Maybe they were doing some back-end services stuff. So no is the answer. I don't know why exactly, but I have ideas. Do we think we'll see the Taurus in 3.13? It's pegged to get some work in the first half of 2021. I'm expecting it for 3.14 at the moment. We know that the Taurus historically looks to get work, and then they sort of like move on to other projects without finishing it. So it gets paused constantly. You've come to see my shiny head. Well, I will not disappoint you, my friend. There you go. Is there anything on AI Crews? We know that they're working on AI Blades this year to some extent, which will have some automation of turrets and ship systems. We're expecting turrets pretty early on to get automation like that. We know that there's going to be NPC crews beyond that in the future. Obviously, people stealing Idrises and other NPC ships now, the turrets in those ships function and will attack appropriate targets, but they are controlled by AI and NPCs, which is interesting because we don't have that properly in game for player ships yet. But so they've got stuff that does sort of work for that. Obviously, they want something a bit more refined and controlled by the player. So you'll get it at some point. We just don't know when. Is your org recruiting? So the BoredGamer org will be recruiting again, but if you want to get involved with doing things in Star Citizen, Zin is going to be organising, Zin and me, but Zin's going to be taking charge of it. Every couple of weeks we're going to be doing and in-game event or some form of BoredGamer event in Star Citizen. Some of that might be live on stream, some of that might be just recorded, some of that might be just for fun. We're going to start pretty simple and then build on that. So Zin's starting to organise that stuff now. If you go into my discord.gg/BoredGamer, just in the Star Citizen channel, say you want to be involved, gets in to start posting there, and she'll start dragging people into appropriate rooms. And if people want to help organise and think, actually, I'm in a position to help organise, we'll talk to you, and some of you will probably be able to help organise the stuff. If you have no experience organising, or you're just a really enthusiastic amateur, then I'd ask you to allow people that have a bit more experience to help organise stuff, because I want people that are going to be able to do what they say when they say it appropriately without fail. Because at the moment when we're building the events up, I don't want to be let other people down because, you know, I didn't vet people properly or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. So it's all going to be Zin's fault anyway if it all falls apart.
Blame's in.
Blame's in. Is Zin the singer at the end of my videos? Yes, it's actually Zin singing that song. So it is a song called Ordinary People. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
It's a song called Ordinary People from Star Citizen that is played at Twin Sandwiches at New Babbage. Yeah, at New Babbage on Microtech. And that's the full song from it that's sort of clean. The song you're hearing at Twines, I think, is sort of like kind of coming out the radio there, and it might get interrupted. And obviously, people don't stand by Twin Sandwiches for, you know, an hour. Well,
unless they're getting footage.
Yeah, that's
That's how they found the song.
Mm. Is that? Did you stumble across that one then? Right? You didn't grab it from Chiff Monkey's YouTube.
No. Okay. I was doing recording at New Babbage, and I heard it, and I was like, oh, quite like that song, so I hunted it down. Yeah,
there's some pretty good Star Citizen music already. Like, they've got a huge catalogue of music. Pedro, Jeff Sinelli, and Darren Lambourne, absolutely fantastic for that music catalogue. And they've there's a lot more Star Citizen music than you are aware of. I'd say in 99% of people's cases, there's this ridiculous amount of Star Citizen music. Right. People are snowed in. How is this snowing?
Yeah, it's been having snow.
I want snow.
I want snow.
I know, right? Hey, Bored, hope you're doing well. Question, do you think the Mustang will get another rework? Okay, all ships, Technotoad, and everyone else that's listening, all ships will get light updates. So that will literally be general lighting updates, but tiny little bits of modelling work. They all need to be made ready for physical damage, any like flight model updates, any component updates, physicalized components. There's a huge amount of little tiny things for bringing all the ships up to spec that all the ships will need. Do I think they're going to get anything that would be deemed a rework beyond that? Probably not. They might get little tiny modelling tweaks, little tiny bits, like when the Hornet got a little tiny bit of a modelling tweak, but I wouldn't expect anything big at all. We know that the Constellation series might get some additional like little tiny tweaks beyond that, and like they're going to be looking at its struts and things like that as well. Thank you so much for the money, though. I like money. Cheers. Does Zin genuinely like Star Citizen, or is it more like a job, meaning it's okay, but it's not at the passion level of Bored? So I'll partly answer for her to start with, because she might not have listened to what I was saying. So I think she sees it relatively as a job, but she's more passionate than she originally was about Star Citizen. But I mean, I'm not as passionate as people think I am about Star Citizen. I like Star Citizen and believe in it. I'm relatively passionate about anything that I like the idea of, and when I talk about it, I'm quite passionate about it. I'm passionate about ideas and stuff. I love Star Citizen, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of it and everything. But I don't think, I mean, do I exude passion? Am I a passionate person, Zin?
I guess so.
What do you think? Is it a job for you? I know it is literally a job for you.
So I had no interest in Star Citizen to begin with. And you were determined to get us to play it, and I played it, and I was like, it's not that great. But having
that was Star Marine when Star Marine first came out.
Yeah.
Like, this is pretty jank. Still is.
But once I started having to do it for a job, and like actually learning about it, it is quite interesting, and I'm definitely not a hater for sure.
Yeah, but you're relatively reserved and realistic about stuff that you like and don't like in the game, like stuff that's not appropriate or stuff that's buggy and janky. I mean, I showed you that Maya clip the other day where he just goes, you don't play Star Citizen, you test Star Citizen until it grinds your bones to dust or something. Yeah, and it's sort of true. Like, there's a joy and awesome sort of feeling of Star Citizen when it works, but it's also when you work with Star Citizen when you're trying to get footage, it can grind your soul because you're like, I just want to get this little bit of footage.
Oh god,
and it's just taken 4 hours to do, and I feel so unproductive, and it can be soul destroying. Like and so we did the Synchronizers event. We were filming Synchronizers fighting space stations and taking on Idris and stuff, and Zim crashed through and was down for half of it. And she's like, I can't get back in the server. And I was like, there's just so many things that are so annoying. And if we wanted to play Eve, we could just jump into Eve and just play it fully without any problems, other than, you know, the players being the problems and people abandoning me in space when they probably shouldn't. Just saying. Where is DC? Where's your partner?
He's sitting at his desk now. Why?
Yeah. It's okay, no, just no reason, just reminiscing. Hey, Bored, any word on improving NPC AI? It ruins the immersion. They're working on it. There's a load of AI and NPC updates coming throughout this year.
They need to sort out AI ship flying.
What sense? Are you talking about desync or them just being derpy and bad?
Derpy and bad, like literally I was fighting someone and their ship was just sort of flipping up and down, sort of not kind of like gentle flying or anything that you would expect. It was pretty bad. Yeah,
so I found that occasionally when the servers you got a fresh server, some AI acts pretty cool. Okay, this is an example. When you're playing Vandal Swarm or Pirate Swarm, you can actually have some pretty good fights with the AI and the NPCs. As soon as you get in the servers, for the most part, they're dumb and derpy. And there's a load of issues there. So we know there's a load of AI updates and a load of server updates coming throughout 2021. Will it put AI in the servers in a good place? In a better place, I'm sure. But will it be in a good place? I don't know. It will eventually be great. Probably. 5-hour flawless yesterday, and this morning 230Ks. And one crashed the desktop that recovered me back into the same spot, and then my rock disappeared 10 minutes later, and my ship disappeared 20 minutes after that. See? Perfect. 5 out of 7, perfect day. Yeah, Star Citizen is a harsh mistress, and sometimes it's a great experience, and sometimes it can be soul destroying. So... Is your cat Advocati? Does he have a YouTube channel streaming Star Citizen? I'm so confused. Will there be orbit to ground fire, Idris railguns hitting bases, example? Really want the manual exterminatus feeling. 40k reference there. So, we don't know to what extent you'll be able to do orbital bombardments to the ground. And if bases will be able to have protections against them. You do not want, without significant effort, the ability to just obliterate bases from orbit. Well, you might do, if you're always the aggressor and you've always got your big fleet with you. But that would not be fun for the base builders. Bases need to be able to be hidden, able to be protected, and able to not just be obliterated from orbit with, well, what can I do sort of thing. In my opinion, at least. So maybe there will be some assaulting ground targets, but it will be incredibly inaccurate. Maybe there'll be defenses against that. We'll have to wait and see. But if your weapon has enough range to it and can lock onto it, Hey, Board, have you got your new rig together yet? Thanks, DC. No, I haven't. I'm still waiting on my graphics card and CPU, as you well know. DC bought his components at the same time as mine, and he's got his now.
He bought slightly different components, though.
He did buy slightly different components. That is true. Do you want griefers? Because allowing player mods is how you get griefers. I don't want players to be able to mod the game and then use it freely in the live environment of the game. No. I do want players to be able to mod the game in the future. And I want that for a lot of different reasons. I want people to build their own Moby-Glass mods, so I want some way of doing that. Some API for that, whatever. One of the original Star Citizen stretch goals was mod support. So I want people to be able to make total conversions and their own mods which are on private servers. I do want that. I think that would be a great thing. I don't want players to hack. No. I mean, and it's not how you necessarily get griefers, but it is a contributing to hacking. Totally agree with that. But they could also be griefers, I suppose. Do you have a time estimate for when Squadron 42 will be out? Not before 2022. And we know that. we know. Shut up, Sin. We know that because there's work on it up until then on the roadmap already. Why are you laughing at that, Sin? When's
I don't
Squadron
think
42
anybody's
come
got a time estimate, let alone you.
What do you mean, let alone me? I'm like the guru. I sit on top, cross-legged, on my little mountain throne. Yeah, just like Chris Roberts behind me, floating there, telling me stuff. What's that, Chris? Squadron 42. It's coming out end of 2022, maybe? Question mark. It's really hard to fact check me until the end of 2022, in which time I would have moved the goalposts. So it's funny because it's true. So at the moment, that would be my best estimate.
Certainly not this year.
Certainly not this year. Unless, well, I mean, miracles could happen, couldn't they?
Yeah, but I mean, if you think it's not going to be this year, then you'll be happy if it is this year, right?
Oh my god, no, maybe it'll be like a Cyberpunk. And by that, what I mean is I actually really enjoyed Cyberpunk, but a lot of people got grumpy because they bought it on a PlayStation 4 and thought it was going to work well, and Cyberpunk lied to them. Bad, CD Projekt Red. Bad. You naughty.
Go back to making Witcher games.
I mean, the Witcher games are great. Do you think there will be an ODST style pod ship that we'll be able to buy in the future? Isn't that like the Valkyrie? Are the Pelicans in Halo?
Yes.
But they're talking about orbital drop shit. I don't. There's
What?
the Vandal Claw. ODST is that orbital drop ship trooper? Are they the smooth jazz operators?
Oh, yeah.
That's a weird in joke. Because in Halo ODST, Halo 3 ODST, you play as this group of soldiers, but the music in that game is so detached from the reality of what's happening. It's just like some random smooth jazz where you're doing combat. I was like, what is this? And RG's like, oh, it's to have this somber, interesting element that is supposed to draw you away from, so that you know that it's a weird situation that you're in. What? It's shit. It's just bad. It's not. Oh. So we about to have drop pods in the future? I don't know. Maybe there'll be a way to survive jumping out of a ship / ejecting from a ship while you're in atmosphere. That they've said that, but exactly what? Maybe drop pods. Maybe rocket boots. Maybe jump chair.
I like the idea of drop pods. I think they're great. Titanfall style.
Yeah, I mean, drop pods are cool. Yeah. I mean, they work. There are some unnamed ships slated on the roadmap for coming months. What do you hope they are? So they're not necessarily ships. They could be ship features or something that the ship team is doing. So it could be ships, vehicles, or it could be a feature for them. It doesn't necessarily have to be ships. And it might not be entirely new ships either. But We do know that there's probably a Origin 400i in the works. We're expecting a Xi'an cargo ship. We're expecting a mobile refinery ship. And there's a lot of other stuff that they could do as well. We do know that they're working on modularity for ships as well with the Retaliator. So it could be other modularity stuff for other ships as well, or ship customization that they're working on too, because I have heard some rumours of some more ship customization, aftermarket customization coming this year, but nothing that I care to confirm yet. Well, because I can't confirm it's the space as the other one. When we get the chance to turn off and on our transponders. Possibly used fake transponders to cover our tracking trails like Serenity. So, there is going to be tracking with bounty hunting and just general scanning and deeper sort of like tracking and scanning gameplay that is coming. They're working on a load of that this year. I would expect some of that to come in this year. That specific turning transponders on, spoofing stuff. We saw it in the Squadron 42 vertical slice. They sort of like were spoofing stuff like that. I would expect the ability to be able to turn off or on your mobi-glass, like transmitting your ID as well. So if you're in social situations, some people are going to have their names above their heads when you sort of like move over them because they're freely broadcasting who they are. Other people, it's not, and you're going to have to scan them. Things like that. So I'd expect some of that gameplay this year. I'm not sure specifically if we're going to be able to turn off our transponders in the way that you think, but it's something that CIG are probably thinking about. Is the 400i going to come out with 3.13 or later? We don't know. We don't know 100% know if there is going to be a 400i. It was a leak, so Star Citizen leaks thought it was going to come out with 3.12. Still potentially could in the 3.12 branch, but we have not seen anything yet. Could be a Fleet Week thing. Any chance the Banu merchantman owners will get an upgrade in loaner to one of the Hercules? Yeah, so that it's quite possible that when the Hercules Star Runner comes out, that Banu merchantman owners will get that as a loaner ship instead. They do update it every so often, the loaner matrix. When will CIG finally show us the Drake Cutlass Rainbow? Wow. The bounty hunter fighter shipping medical interdiction culinary ship with aftermarket customization in the future. I'm sure you can put little rainbows on your ship. Don't you worry. Looking forward to all the new things, but I can say I'm most excited about station docking and power management. What are you looking forward to, Bored, and also Zin? Zin, what are you looking forward to the most? Is it Xeno threat missions? Is that, or is there any other features that you're looking forward to?
I'd like to see Pyro, but obviously I don't know when we're going to get that.
If we
jump points and
if we see a Citizen Con this year, would you be excited about coming? Because I'll go Zin, come along. Because obviously we get to see Cameron as well.
It'd be nice to get out the house.
Maybe even Kit would come down like she did last time.
It's not going to be UK based, is it?
Oh,
or will it?
I don't want to travel to America. That fills me full of terror. There'd probably be a UK watch party or something you would go to, maybe a semi-official one probably in Manchester. I don't want to go to America.
I'd want to go to America.
I know, I get travel anxiety though. Sometimes I'm okay with it.
That's alright, because I'll be there with you. I'll hold your hand.
That is, number one, you wouldn't. Number two, you're going to cause me more anxiety because you'll be more critical of me.
No, we didn't.
You are the most critical person.
No.
Yeah, with a potential trip to America. And
no. If you're in need, I'm there, mate.
Oh, mate. Oh, you know that time I travelled to UNDC's house and the train. Oh, mate, I get such bad travel anxiety. It's absurd. But sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm totally fine. It's weird. Is the Perseus in Squadron 42, meaning it could come out sooner than later? No, I don't believe it's in Squadron 42. I think it's actually a new ship in lore as well. Maybe, question mark? Perseus? No. Perseus isn't a new ship. When's the Perseus in lore? Huh. I can't remember the lore of the Perseus. As far as I'm aware, the Perseus isn't in Squadron 42. Let's start with that. So yeah, the redesigned Perseus is new, but there is technically a historic Perseus gunship. So I don't actually know how the timelines meet up with. Technically, could they be in Squadron 42? Or will they have all been decommissioned by then? When will we see more in-game purchasable ships? Mercury Star and Talon. So, I mean, it is just the 100 series Mercury Star and Talon, though, isn't it? Everything else that's flyable is purchasable. Probably in 3.13. You see those ships. I would expect them to start being available to purchase. How am I doing today? I'm doing well. DC here, of course you'd better come. If we go if you go
He's
anywhere.
gone, mate.
Oh, it was in chat.
Yeah, I know he was. Now he's fucked off again.
Is now a good time for a new player to start playing? I've been debating it, and now seems like a good time to start. Okay, Star Citizen is still very much an alpha. I'm hoping that they get the game in a slightly more playable state for when the Xeno threat missions come out. So potentially with 3.12.1 might be a really good time to start if they've got sort of like the game in a very accessible state. If you are looking for a sit down and play game, Star Citizen is not for you yet. There is not enough progression. It is very harsh mistressy, so sometimes you're going to have a great time, sometimes you're not, and you are almost certainly going to want to get an org. If you join an org that you like with people that you like, and you play with them regularly, you're going to have hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of fun with Star Citizen even now. So sort of bear that all in mind. If you want to get involved with the testing of Star Citizen now and have your say on the way that the game develops and be an enthusiastic tourist every 3 months and go, what's new? Oh, this is cool, this is cool, this is beautiful, this is beautiful. Now I'm a little tired and I want to go home because the game keeps on crashing. That's the sort of state we're in with Star Citizen. It is really fun and really good, but you have to sort of actively fight for that gameplay sometimes. What ship feature are you most looking forward to, i.e. components, physics grids, modularity, which we'll see first? Physicalized components is the most important thing and what I'm most looking forward to. That will allow for ships to actually get disabled, that will allow for shipboarding, that will allow for a billion different things. It will allow for the game to be balanced in a way that they can go, well, what are these weapons intending to do, and how much health are these ships supposed to actually have, rather than have artificial health balls. It's really important for all things Star Citizen. What's the best starter ship for sale? Depends on how you define starter ship, but in my opinion it would be the Avenger Titan. That's a ship that allows you to do a little bit of everything, and is only $20 more, I think, than the standard Mustang Alpha. What was that sound you made?
That was somebody in your background.
What? In my background?
Yeah, it sounded like somebody driving past your window.
Oh. Might have been.
Unless it was my window.
Could have been a chicken though, couldn't it? I do cook a lot of rotisserie chicken.
Oh, Jesus.
So me and Sin were doing a prototype for silly people's questions and answers on Amazon products. Because you go there and it's just a whole host of is this teapot heavy, was a question, and the answer was I don't know if it's heavy, but I was having a tea party with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and when I offered him a cup of tea, he broke out in a sweat. There was weird shit on that Amazon questions and answers page, and I was like, what is this? So we're doing stuff like that, and I forgot my point. What was I making a point?
You ended up buying a fucking rotisserie chicken
maker.
Oh,
yeah. So, sorry, I was thinking about chickens. One of the products we looked at was an air fryer, and I was like, I'm having that. Look at that rotisserie chicken in there, mate. And then we noticed on all the other air fryers, there were pictures of chickens which were flat, pasted in them. That was weird. As we know, the rest of the core teams are being added to the roadmap near the end of this month. That is what we believe, and that's what we hope, and that's what Cloud Imperium have said. With that in mind, how far along do you predict they might actually be with server meshing and iCache? It's possible that first stage static server meshing could be in the game by the end of this year. That is optimistic, but it's still 50-50 in my opinion. iCache, we're looking at Q2, Q3. Do we know when they're going to fix and improve the in-game star map and how to navigate it? So they're working on updates or a new star map app at the moment. I know that. I actually think that it might be a task that the new Montreal studio's doing. So it makes sense for them to do all things star system related. Happy Friday to people indeed. Is it Friday? Oh shit, son.
It's Friday night, Chinese night.
Oh, okay. Cool. So Zin's accidentally okayed me having a Chinese and breaking my dirt, which is perfect.
Yes. Peer pressure.
It's not really it's the lowest form of peer pressure, isn't it? Do I have a Chinese? Yes, cool. Peer pressure. Ooh. I'm a part of the modding. Invader. I'm part of the modding community. Afto, who is the guy that we're talking about, who was dropping in javelins and things, is definitely not associated with us, as he was modifying the online client in a detectable way, non-visually. None of us condone their behaviour. Cool. So the modding community that Invader is in is denouncing this other modder because he was doing online client stuff that he was basically hacking. That's basically what people are implying. Afto was effectively hacking the game because he was modifying the online client, not even taking it offline, it looks, to do his dropping in of javelins and stuff. Okay. That's good to know. I haven't looked enough into it to be able to form an opinion more than just sort of from what I understand. Obviously, that's against the terms of service, and do I want random people that aren't devs fucking around with effectively what is a alpha but live environment? No, I don't. I don't want people hacking and cheating. Hackers drive me the most crazy of anything. But I do also think everyone hacks that beats me in games, so because there's no other explanation for it. Hey Board, love your stuff. Quick question. I see the Polaris has been added to the roadmap, but I'm a simple plebeian and I struggle to understand what the card means. What can we expect? So, we don't know. So they are doing some work on the Polaris that finishes by what looks to finish towards the end of the year. But that does not necessarily mean that the Polaris will be finished by any means by the end of the year. There could be a lot more work from other teams that are yet to be on the roadmap. So bear that in mind. So yeah, the Polaris is being worked on this year. I'm expecting the Polaris to be completed for middle of 2022. Will the Banner Merchantman loaner change to the Hercules from the Cat? I would actually expect so, as I said earlier. Do you think you'll still be alive when Star Citizen gets released? Now, is that a threat? Yes, I would hope so. I'm saving up to buy a house, so. Will you ever release BoredGamer action figures? Oh, body pillows, yes. Would you buy a body pillow of DC's in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have it for the rare days that he's not there.
Aww.
He's always
Would DC
there.
buy a body pillow of me? A short, dumpy, frog-like body pillow in the frog pose.
Yes, he would buy it. He would buy a body pillow of you.
Nice, thanks. You buy a body pillow of yourself as well. Nice. Happy New Year. When do we get to see Zin? She'll appear sometimes on camera. She's not your performing monkey. I am your performing monkey.
Yep. Also, that means I've got to make myself look pretty and
Which-
put some normal clothes on.
Some of us just shave our heads, Zin, and grow a beard. Can you do that?
I could do the first one, but I don't think you'd want me to.
So yeah, Zinna will appear on stream and on camera sometimes. I mean, I bought
As
her a green.
and when.
Yeah, I bought her a green screen. We'll sort of ease her into it, as it were. Like, she thinks she has to make herself look pretty, and I can understand that you don't want to look horrid on camera or like, I can understand that. Yeah. There's not so much of an expectation for me because people look at me and they don't know what to make of me anyway. They go, what's going on here? Do you think up these answers, or is your jaw possessed by the beard? I've only got a very minor beard at the moment. Should the Mantis be the standard bearer for all RSI ship design? It is a very cool looking RSI ship, and I do hope that they update the constellations a little bit more in accordance with that, but only I don't want to see huge overhauls and reworks of ships. Why was the Christmas Lumberyard present hunting and selling the funnest and most lucrative thing ever done? Well, because you were good at picking up those parcels. Wasn't very good when you couldn't sell them, but they were 1,000 each and they were everywhere, so it was pretty good. Can I buy an ion cannon to add to my base to protect against the Idris and stuff? Potentially. We don't know what base defences will allow yet. We know that base building is going to be a lot more expansive than they originally wanted as just outpost deployments. We know that the Pioneer is going to be more of a mobile factory. We do know there is going to be defences for bases that you'll be able to place. But exactly what and exactly what they'll be able to defend you from, and is it better just to have your base hidden than defended, as it were? We don't know. Because as someone said earlier, can you just assault them from orbit? Well, if you can do that, then that's a bit meh. So hopefully that won't be a thing. Well, if it is, there'll be defences for it. Any idea when they might add a flip option for the Grey Cat Rock? So you can sort of... Okay, so if your Grey Cat Rock falls over, yeah? If you turn off the power, turn off the engine, fully throttle up, turn it back on, and wiggle it, yeah? You can flip it back over often. But I would like the bit. Well, you're going to be able to use in the future. I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to use your gravity tool to flip them over. I think that's one of the things they want for the for that gravity tool. Have you ever considered an RGB backplate for my GPU? So, to be honest, I like backplates on GPUs, even because I like the idea of them looking protected, being more protected, and the slightly better heat transfer across them. RGB stuff, I'm semi-interested in, but not enough to pay the extra ever. So, RGB backplates, RBG backplates and stuff, Sometimes I look at something and go really pretty. For the current build I'm doing, it is going to look very Origin slash... what's the name of the hangar? What's the name of the hangar types? The white and black hangar. I can't remember what it's called.
Aeroview?
No. The one up from Aeroview. The white and black, pretty looking hangar.
Oh, it's got like a weird name, isn't it?
It's not Klaus and Werner, is it? That's a... Oh, God. What? Revel in York, thank you.
Yeah, that's the one.
Thank you, Taz. I'm sure other people mentioned it as well, but that was the first person.
Anything with York in it, you know it's going to be fancy, right?
What? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. What about York? What about me? If I'm in York, am I fancy? Zin does the best fancy, but she won't perform it in front of other people anymore.
There has to be a reason for it.
If you had to boil it down to a sentence, why is it that this game development is so slow with such a large team and budget? Because they've built that team over a huge amount of time. They've only just over the last 4 years started to get a huge budget, and they've expanded the game out with a huge amount of feature creep. And the game basically retooled into its new scope in 2015, which they had to redo almost everything. So really, the game as it is now has been in proper, earnest development since 2015. And although a lot of the work for that was building towards it in at least some small way, it has largely been reworked, and the scope is much bigger now. So it is also, beyond that, a slow development. And it's partly slow because of the quarterly alpha playable releases, and the way that the CIG market and build that. So if they were just building the game and didn't have to build these alpha quarterly releases for playable stuff, I suspect the game would be done much quicker, but it would be a lot less iterative, and we'd have a different game that might not be what people want. What they're doing supports their monetization model, and you wouldn't have Star Citizen probably at all without the way they're doing their development. Thank you very much for the host. Very much appreciated, sir. So that's my answer why it's so slow. And there's a bit of inefficiency there as well. But they had to build a whole studio for it. Well, multiple studios around the world. Have you ever seen a close-up of our boiling sun? How close do you expect Star Citizen to match that? How close might we be able to get to stars? I don't think we'll be able to get too close to stars, because I think that, number one, they're going to be very dangerous, and number two, radiation and stuff as well. So I suspect they're very, very pretty, whatever they do. How physicalized do I think the star's going to be? That's another one as well. And how close can we get to it? Will we just get destroyed when we get too close? I don't know yet. They haven't talked too much about that. Drop pods are already in lore. Yeah, did they, the Varan, these drop pods as well? I mean, the Vandal, these that have the claw, and things like that. We've seen, obviously, the rescue ships and escape pods as well. Oh, I love Titanfall and Titanfall 2. Great games. Genuinely great games. For bounty hunting, do you think the transponders will be for bounty hunting ships only for professionals? I think there's going to be ability to scan down people, scan down ships, and a network of sort of like if someone gets spotted and scanned by any, or their ship gets spotted and scanned, that will also be transmitted or added to a database for bounty hunters to use. Do you think the announced in-game event has gone the way of Theatres of War and Pillar Talk, and more hyping things up before the tech's ready? Potentially, to some extent. I think that they were expecting the in-game event to be ready before at the end of last year, and there were a couple of major blockers that they discovered that they went, it is not ready. Because otherwise, there's no reason to hype the Xenothreat stuff up with a press release and the IGN video and stuff like that. That actually allows hype to die before it's ready. You want to hype something, great, but hype something for a reason. Hype it because the event's just about to come out. Hype it because you've got a sale going on. Hype it for a reason. You don't want to hype to die. The reason they've sort of like not getting any more Squadron 42 in-game stuff at the moment is because they don't want to show that stuff up, because then the hype will die before the game's released is sort of the idea. And it's just not ready yet, so... I think it was just them being bad, rather than a particular hype tactic or anything. When will we get to physicalized beans? What? Like magic beans? I'm going to Bio. I'll be back in 5 seconds. Ask Zin questions, but she's not going to answer you. She's busy working.
I am busy working.
The correct answer, Zin, is yes, I'm Zin, yeah?
I'm not as beautiful as Monkey, that's for sure.
I'm here. I'm back. I'm back in here. Oh, my green screen's haunted. No, good. I hope. It's fine. Oh, right. Sorry, I was a little bit longer than I expected. My auntie, my mother's sister, a couple of days ago had a what we thought was a stroke, and obviously we have a weird sort of situation in the country, and I think all over the world, where there's limited medical assistance compared to what they used to be. So I was expecting her to be immediately taken to the hospital, but what they said was, just phone us in the morning if it gets worse. Is basically what they said. Because she was still able to talk, she just didn't make any sense, and she was confused and sort of like tired, and like, okay, probably a mini stroke, and we'll CAT scan her in 48 hours sort of thing, but call us if it gets worse, or whatever scan it was. And she's talking to my mother on the phone at the moment, so just make sure she was okay. I don't know the full details of everything, so I might be over exaggerating, but that's what it that's what it appeared to be to me. Is what happened, but she seems to be okay now. It's possible that it was just something random that had presented in the same way, what would the purpose be of hiding your name to force people to scan? Well, some people just don't want to broadcast who they are. Why would you give information about anything if you don't have to? Information
but if you've got nothing to hide...
Oh my god. NordVPN! NordVPN! The con can. That's what you need. Yeah. Information's money. Time and information is money. Also, some people is going to want to hide who they are. Because, they're criminals, or because they're wanted by, or maybe they're in an org war with someone. There's a billion different reasons why you could not want to broadcast who you are. Why would you want to broadcast who you are? You could, obviously, I like the idea of you could automatically broadcast to your friends and alliance members and all that sort of stuff, but it's off by default to everyone else. And you can turn it on publicly if you want in areas... if you want to be super social. Been watching some videos about Elite Dangerous. They are coming out with an expansion where you can walk on planets. Never played it. Do you play it? Or would you recommend the game? So, it is a fully fleshed out game, Elite Dangerous. And if you're looking for that sort of proper space game, it's obviously doesn't have as much depth. It's a lot more shallow than Star Citizen plans to be. It's not as pretty, but it is, as I said, polished and very playable now. It is a fully live playable game, Elite Dangerous, with progression and all that sort of jazz. And Odyssey, the expansion we'll talk about, has been delayed, partly due to the coronavirus situation and that sort of stuff, but it does look genuinely good. I played a little tiny bit of Elite Dangerous a while ago. I will be playing Elite Dangerous Odyssey, even if it's just to see if it's any good. They sent me a little goodies pack, Elite Dangerous people. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I don't think it's a competitor to Star Citizen in the fact that I think there's multiple... there's room for multiple space games in the industry. There's a hunger for it. And Star Citizen is not going to be ready for many years. So... getting ready, excited for Zin's series, I know, right? What? See, people are saying, it's okay, BG, they've got travelling anxiety as well. Thank you. Where in America would you go? I definitely want to do Vegas at some point. So all I need is to not feel anxious in the couple of days leading up to when I travel, probably the day I actually travel. Because then I'll be fine. Like... I get really bad travel anxiety sometimes, and it can make me literally physically sick. I was on a plane and got travel anxiety really bad when I went up to... It might have been when I came back from the most recent CitizenCon. I was really sick. Like, I was proper panicked. And I'm not afraid of flying or anything. Just it was weird. Do you think the Taurus will make 3.13? I think it's more of a 3.14 release. What beard is missing for beards? What tech is missing for beards and capes? So they want proper cloth physics rather than pendulum physics, which they are actually building into the game, and they sort of do have partly, but they want it lightweight so that it doesn't destroy your CPU and GPU. Beard-wise, they were working on beard tech to have better-looking hair and beards. They've been working on that for a while for the Squadron's needs, and expect to see that in Star Citizen at some point in the not-too-distant future. I'm from Manchester, I'm assuming is what you're saying, Shadow. With the new Planet Dev division, and hopefully I can... Oh, what? Are you actually a Star Citizen dev? I love you if you are. With the new Planet Dev division, and hopefully iCache, etc. coming in this year, do you think there will be a massive shift in content being released? Oh, no. Are you with the Planet... No, you're saying with that. With the new Planet division people coming in this year, do you think there will be a massive shift in content being released? I thought you were saying you were dev for them. Oh, I was excited then, briefly. Not that I'm now depressed, whoever you are, Shadow. I love you. Kisses. So, there's not going to be a shift in content released. There is an additional studio in Montreal that is going to be largely working on new planets and star systems. And they want to get planets and star systems out. So, there should be a lot of that released. How did Star Citizen get 100 to 120 systems out in a timely manner for when the game's sort of released, or like 40 plus systems for when the game's released, and then more and more and more out before like the end of 10 years? Well, they build a specific studio to do that, which is what they've done. Will the iCache mess up Urkel? It shouldn't. The changes to weapons and all that sort of jazz, that might. Well, Urkel will adapt. So Urkel, for people that don't know, is a website which allows you to do loadouts for your ships and does all the DPS and calculations for them. For all the stuff planned this year, what do you think could be the most game-changing? In terms of content released and what they can do, iCache, it is fundamental game tech that allows the floodgates, as Cloud Imperium, to open. But for me, really, for actual tangible things, it's the events, like the Xenothreat events. If they do good events like that, that's really exciting and cool. And physicalized components. Physicalized components allow for so much of the game to actually be balanced correctly, and like ship boarding and disabling ships and a load of cool stuff. Are you participating in the Daymar rally tomorrow? No, but I will be watching it. I might be watching it from the 890 jump, if there's still a seat for me there. Otherwise, I'll just be watching it online. I told my Chinese girlfriend I wanted a 69 and she made me beef and broccoli. Wow, Summer Yeti, you're a monster. And that's a terrible joke.
Friday night is Chinese night.
Friday night is a Chinese night, yeah. If I destroyed a ship that says... If a destroyed ship says retrieve instead of claim on the terminals, is there a workaround? Restart your character is a workaround. Use a different terminal. You don't want to reset your character if you can help it. Use a different terminal on a different planet. Rent a ship, and at the end of the rental period, sometimes that can fix it as well. It does cross the line, Samieti. I'm going to time you out for 20 seconds and disavow you. There you are. Zin, disavow him. Zin, say disavow.
What?
Say disavow. Just say it.
Disavow?
Perfect. Done. That's good. I just had to say that just in case there's ever a complaint. Occasionally... Don't worry.
I'm so confused.
Don't you worry. If people make inappropriate jokes, that's what you have to do.
But what if they're funny?
No, you can laugh and then say disavow. What else have we got? Why have I got all these monsters here? Lots of people saying Revel in York, obviously, when I asked what thing it was earlier. Do you think Star Citizen will start buying dev offices for other features? Space dev office, art dev office, ship toilet dev office, Star Citizen, the Ballers. Okay, so I do actually know that they wanted to buy a new office in 2019, but there was problems with that, with the actual building or something. So maybe. They are certainly looking to expand their team by another further 100 plus people. I mean, I think their sort of dev team size that they want to hit is probably around 800 people. It's a pretty big dev team they want. And will they then reduce that quite largely when they've completed Star Citizen and Squadron 42? Potentially. I mean, I can imagine them reining back to a studio of 400 devs when it's all done. What about the invention of new tools to make the game board? I mean, they've got a huge amount of tooling already in place now, and they update and refine their tools for sure. But I think they have largely tooled. I've backed Star Citizen since 2015 and often take long breaks in between long play sessions. The process of alpha testing is exhausting sometimes. Is that normal? Yes, it's alpha testing. It can be soul destroying. And it's not a sit-down and play game with proper progression yet, which is why you get so much fatigue, because you're basically doing a job sometimes. That's literally what it is. How did your channel name come into being? What's the law? I was trying to work out what I wanted to call my channel. I liked the idea of BoredGamer, because I was going to do board games and computer games, and a wide variety. I should be called Starboard. Oh my god, Starboard would have been great! Starboard! Zin, do you get it?
Yes, I get it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it's left, basically. No, it's right. Port is left. Starboard is right. Oh my, I'm the worst.
I don't know.
While Nomad owners have a jump in having personal items on ship, do you think we will have the ability to buy / place our own? What? So, okay. Will you be able to place crates or storage lockers on ships that have room for them? That's a good question. Definitely for crates. I'm not sure what you're going to be able to store in those crates. Will you be able to place personal items and storage areas and things like that on ships that don't actually start with a storage locker? I don't know if they're going to be items. I would expect them to be items. I don't know. Zin, if I... Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can I see it? Can I yak? 89. Thank you very much for the money. Appreciate it.
Caniac.
Yeah, thank you. I won't read that Nargo about me owing Zin anything. Don't you worry. Don't worry, Zin. It's fine.
What did you say?
Didn't say anything. If you were paying attention, you'd know. Have you checked out New World yet? Yes, I checked it out. I've actually backed it or bought it yonks ago. It was interesting, but it didn't have enough to keep me super interested yet. So there's not enough jugs to store all my... No, I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to go on with that. What's going on with Theatres of War? Any idea when it will be playable? So we know that there was some issues with Theatres of War. They want to get it more refined, especially network code-wise and performance-wise in general. So it will go back to Evocati in the coming weeks and then get a little bit more refinement and then go out to a wider crowd. We should see a lot going on with Theatres of War this year. Obviously it was delayed though. How do I feel about decentralized what? What is this? Where did this go? How do you feel about decentralized blockchains then? What? I don't know. I don't know enough about stuff, do I? It's like, we talking about crypto and stuff as well. What? About just decentralization of everything? Has there been much on the mechanics of hacking? What do you expect? So we're going to get some mission-based hacking and some minigame-based hacking this year. And that's exactly what I expect. A little minigame, based on the difficulty will be how long it basically takes you to do that. Zim, do you have your own YouTube channel technically already? No, Board does not have a girlfriend. Okay, what I will say is, I put women off because when they meet me, they have to talk to me. That's typically the issue. What else have we got? When, Perseus? Question mark. End of 2022. We don't know yet. It's a rough guess. End of 2022 at the moment. Tell you what, Board. What if I build that Titan suit for CitizenCon cosplay? Then will you come to the ice? Yes. If you build a moving Titan suit, I will come. I will come to the US. That's a promise. As long as they allow me to go over there. Maybe they'll just be like, we don't want you in. We don't want you here.
Oh, you're a stinky Brit. You're not part of Europe anymore. Fuck off.
I think the other thing is that would we be going there for work? Because that's a whole different kettle of fish, isn't it? We'd have to go there for not work. So I don't know. Is Star Citizen planning to have in-game voice controls and onboard ship AI of some sort, trimmed down version of voice attack and HCS voice packs? They are certainly looking at voice control for Star Citizen. They said they were looking at it. I'm not sure if we will get it or if they're just keep it with voice attack. I know they were looking at it. Missile Nerf, too much or sorely needed. Let's see what happens with 3.13 and the rest of the missile updates. What else have we got here? Disavowed. Disavowed. I'm quite far behind in chat. I apologise. I always am. What do you think? Where in between 1 and 100 years will devs solve object pixel clipping? Oh, that and Z fighting will be forever. When do you think we'll get a new star map and get revamped travel system? I know they're working on it now. I know they're working on the new star map app now anyway. And I assume that's going to have a new interface for us moving around. So I don't know when it's going to be ready. I would hope that it would be by the end of the year, but we might have some better indication of what's going on with that when they add the new roadmap information towards the end of January. So, oh my god, Starboard, because I'm always right. Nice. But I'm not. But I wish I was. Because then I'd just declare I was a millionaire. It'd be perfect. What else have we got? Will player hangars be integrated into the persistent universe? So you will be able to have private hangars and private habs in the persistent universe. There will be physicalized addresses and physicalized habs, as far as we're aware. There will also be the more public habs and hangars that we've seen as well in the game. Are we getting mechs? We're getting Titan suits for sure. We also have a load of devs that used to work on MechWarrior Online that work for Star Citizen, so bear that in mind. And the Titan suits are sort of like more Iron Man crossed with a power loader at the moment. I should just show those chicks my fleet, shouldn't I? Because women's swoon when they see a load of ships. They go, "Oh my god, I love a man with a javelin." Hey Board, it's me, Sally G. What has CIG got in the pipeline to help us find our Carrack while out in the Pisces? But at the moment, you fly out and lose it. Oh, we see what you mean. We need to be able to track both ships properly simultaneously and be able to recall and find. There is asset management that's going to be coming online, sort of like more as part of the economy app. You're right, we need the ability to be able to go through our assets and our spawn ships and when we're in the Pisces, know where the mothership is. I would expect that Cloud Imperium are probably already on it, but I hadn't actually even thought about that. I just assumed it was going to be a thing. Thanks for the money, though. Mwah. And you don't need to send me money to ask a question. If you do, I'll read out your question immediately because it appears on my screen. Boom! But you can just ask a question and I'll eventually get to it, whatever. But the money is appreciated. I love you. And money. I'm building my very sparse Scrooge. Oh. When can you get new ships to buy? What? So... 3.13 end of March should have some new ships in it. 3. As in straight to flyable stuff. At some point in 3.13's branch, we're getting the Hercules C2 and M2. Also, I would expect, if you're talking about ships to purchase in game at stores, most ships are purchasable now, and the ones that aren't, I would expect to be purchasable in 3.13. Wouldn't CIG be better off buying voice attack? Yes, I agree. If they want to do voice integration, buy voice attack would be what I think the most sensible. Oh, Sally G, I know, I just like to give money. I love your face. Thank you. I appreciate the money and the face love. It's the only love I'm going to get. Do you see CIG's financial path forward over the next 3 to 5 years as the current model of selling ships? This seems like an increase to technical debt for every ship that needs to be updated. No, it's not really. So they have an expanding team, and it's not mutually exclusive them working on general ship based stuff and new ships. In fact, if you look at it in the way that they're actually expanding their studios and using that to finance the game, it actually lessens technical debt overall. Because they get a load more devs because of it. And you can see that from the 2019-2020 financials that we did the other day. I'm looking through how much their team expanded. I think they got 83 new employees from 2019, from 2018 to 2019, and they expected even more 2019 to 2020. So it obviously does increase. Obviously, there is more work to do when they add ships, but I think the overall increase of, well, actually, as long as the ships aren't entirely new mechanics, then it's actually probably beneficial to the project. You don't want constantly these massive space station-sized ships either. If it's small ships, really easy. If it's super huge ships, yeah, there's definitely more of an argument there. Do you think there will be some form of crashing animation or terrain damage for ships that crash down on planets instead of blowing up? I think they might embed themselves into the floor. That's possible. There's probably going to be something rather than bad bouncing, yes. Dead game. Barn lot. TV. How uninformed. The game's still being built. They've got a massive player base already. And they, yeah. I think they had more, was it 750,000 unique players last year in Star Citizen, the best year for Star Citizen ever? A growing game, is actually. So the opposite. When the persistent inventories come in, has Cloud Imperium hinted at how or if they will let us replace lost and stolen rewards or purchased armors, weapons, etc.? Nope. I would expect some form of ability to reclaim them, but they do want looting in, and they're working on looting, it looks like, this year as well. So bear that in mind. Exactly how they're going to deal with these looted items. Maybe there's going to be missions for people to reclaim them for you. Maybe you'll just be able to insure them and reclaim them that way. Do you think the Hercules Star Runner's turrets and main guns will go up a size? They might have changed, but we don't know. In my humble opinion, technical debt usually comes from cutting corners, lack of testing, and the code base, and perhaps big changes in the direction of the game. Well, Star Citizen certainly is putting placeholder content in there, or at least was, until they had finished like big things like iCache and stuff. So there's definitely technical debt there. Definitely technical debt, and quite a large amount. And I disagree on necessarily because they're cutting corners. Maybe a necessary part of the development. But we'll have to look at it in more detail at some point, I suppose. I just came here after watching a CES video. Man, the tech and gaming industries are so frustrating right now with all the delays. Yeah, I mean, the whole world has been delayed by like a year. I mean, I'm still waiting 3 months for my GPU and CPU after buying them when they were in stock. Like, it is frustrating. Star Citizen's been delayed. Cyberpunk was delayed, and a lot of people wasn't the fancy game they had assumed, or I mean, sci-fi, amazing super game that they had assumed. Elite Dangerous Odyssey's been delayed. Star Citizen's always slow. Doesn't even need to be delayed anymore because they haven't got release dates. They can't delay, can they? Eh? What do you think of options to buy ships in game? That's how I got my credit. Yeah, we want all the ships to be able to be purchasable in game, and we want ship customization in game ASAP.
I think there's a good idea to have a barrier to entry.
Can you be more specific?
Just like you have to have achieved a certain mission or something before you can get this ship or something like that, Yeah,
so I like the idea, actually, now that you said that, for certain ships and certain shops, that maybe they introduce you to them after you've done certain missions or you've got reputation and stuff. That's actually not a bad idea. We know that getting to a certain stage in Squadron 42 is going to unlock the ability for you to access in some way the F8 Lightning. Like probably the civilian version of that, probably to buy in-game, not to immediately use. Do you believe boxes will have open and close animations showing physical items stored? That is what they wanted in-game. They wanted the ability for you to put a load of weapons or functional items in a box and then open that box and take those items out, but also those items to be individually detected by the cargo grid in the ship so that you can buy and sell them and stuff. When does the player count increase per server? So server meshing definitely should increase player count massively. Before that, if they decide to put some more server improvements in and test higher player counts on servers, then. But we haven't got any indication of when that would be. Server meshing could start, at least static server meshing, by the end of this year. But we don't know. I think it's 50-50 at the moment. So there's ship-to-ship and ship-to-station docking coming this year. No, so, okay, there's no confirmation that ship-to-ship docking is coming this year. Ship-to-station docking looks like it's in 3.13. As does the Parasite docking, hard dock. So this is the P-52, P-72 in the Constellation, and docking between those two ships. Although that technically is, I suppose, ship-to-ship. Ship-to-ship does refer to a different mechanic, which is docking collars docking with each other. And that is coming later, maybe not even this year. Will blades allow us to use manned turrets as gimbaled weapons, or are they purely automated? Don't know. Depends on what they decide. They have yet to fully decide all of the functions and uses of blades. So maybe. Do you know if Star Citizen has been recognised yet by the Guinness Book of World Records? Yes, it has. It holds 2 Guinness Book of World Records at the moment, which I think is highest crowdfunded game and something else. It might be highest crowdfunded thing of all time and highest crowdfunded Kickstarter game, maybe? Something like that is what it was. What do you think the Xenothreat gameplay will be like? Expect. So we've seen some teasers of it that I can talk about with Xenothreat Idris fighting a javelin, so fleet battles are going on. You should be able to join in with these sort of like fleet battles and other interesting sort of events that are going on the server as they sort of happen. And anyone will be able to sort of join is what it looks like. Yeah, but big raid style fleet battles that you can get involved with at any scale. So if it's just you in a ship, or if it's a big group of you, or a whole org, you can sort of get involved, and a mixture of that. So you'll be playing with loads of randoms, potentially. What gameplay loops are we expecting on launch? Loads. Salvage, repair, rearm, refuel, search and rescue. Loads. Huge amount. Base building, mining, refining, crafting, bounty hunting. Lots of things. Have they made any progress on the fixing of issues facing through ship elevators? Yes, they have. They did say that they had some stuff in the works to solve that. And I think it's also on the roadmap for the physics grid stuff. And we're going to get some more melee weapons. I think we are getting melee weapons. There's certainly going to be advocacy tools and stuff, other stuff like that. I don't know when we're going to be getting them in-game, though. When did you stream for your first time? I cannot remember. 2016, probably? 2015? Do you think the Constellation will get a light rework with the new Constellation Taurus? So they've talked about doing the struts and updating little tiny bits on the Constellation as well. So potentially at some point, maybe not with the new Taurus rework, maybe just after it, whatever. Shield holes should be fixed when they put the new sign distance field tech in, though. Hull health and interior and stuff. A lot of that stuff's going to be done when they put iCache in, when they put physicalized components in. Tavaran capital ship? Possibly. They don't need one for the game. It would be something they did in the further future if they did. Because technically the Tavaran wouldn't really have any capital ships. They'd have to find a Tavaran data depository, lore, and then go, oh, we know how to build Tavaran capital ships now. There's been no additional information on Theatres of War for a while, and we do know that it's going to go back to Evocati in the not-too-distant future, and then wider audience once it's ready. There were obviously some performance issues with it. Do we think some sort of media integration would be possible? Maybe being able to access and play Spotify playlists from MFDs. We were actually sort of able to put whatever tracks you wanted into the jukebox originally, but they took that out. So I'm not sure of the legality of being able to play whatever you want in-game through in-game players. So just sort of bear that in mind. Do you think there will be a Banu cargo carrier similar size to a Cutlass? I mean, there could be. It would make sense. Will Corsair get some special scanners like the Carrack and Connie? I would expect it to have focused exploration type scanners, yeah. Wait, there are aliens in Star Citizen, yeah. The Vandal, which are the horrible shark fish, anglerfish type aliens, which are definitely aggressive. There's the Banu, who like more trade Persian type race. There's the Xi'an, who are turtles, sort of. The Tavaran, who are bird samurai. The Saurians, who have flashy light heads, although they're not a space flight advanced civilization. They're sort of protected on their planet at the moment. They're sort of tribal, I think. There's the Kerthak, which we don't know much about. Is CIG worried about balancing? Does balancing belong in a sim? In real life, Mercedes doesn't worry about being balanced with Toyota. Yeah, but they are balanced for the fact that there's a limit to physics and technology and the prices. So balancing just means that everything performs within the role that CIG has set for it, and they can't do balancing until more of the game is complete, especially, in my opinion, physicalized components, which are the main thing that they will want for at least balancing between patches and making combat a lot more enjoyable. You're like a military version of the Banu Merchantman. Well, you can probably outfit your Banu Merchantman to be more of a Q ship, so more of a military-esque anti-pirate ship. I mean, they've got relatively big guns on. The Banu Merchantman and Banu ships are supposed to be able to be brought along for big fights. Like, that's how the Banu do their military. They go, and now everyone turns up to murder things. And all their sort of trade ships and everything. Are there ships designed to board via ramming? So the Vandal Claw, yes. Are there going to be more ships beyond that? We don't know. Is it possible to balance the game while selling ships for real money? Yes. There are certainly pay-to-win aspects there that could and should be discussed, but as long as it is not detrimental, as long as it is not incredibly hard to get a ship in game without real money, and as long as there's nothing that is exclusively only available for real money, then I'm sort of happy with that. Do you think the Vandal capital ship will be ownable? Not for a long time, because the full interior of the Kingship would need to be done, and it's not even for Squadron 42's needs. There's only the areas that they need to do for it. So potentially in the far future. With the primitive non-spacefaring races, do you think what would happen if we visit them? Defending them? So, will we be able to go and visit these enclosures with these the Orisians, whatever they're called, and other protected species? We should be able to go there. I mean, it would be a crime to go there, probably. It'd be interesting. See what CIG have got planned for us. They haven't talked much about it. We don't know if, like the Kurthak, we don't know if they're bipedal. We don't know if they're humanoid. Don't know. Question: will penalties through bounty hunting be more pronounced towards those who pirate with wild ship destruction and killing because it's easy to respawn self and ship now? I don't know what you really mean by that. There's definitely going to be risk and reward stuff, and they do want to put Death of the Spaceman and medical gameplay in. So, doesn't the Hammerhead laws say that it has a reinforced transaction for ramming and boarding? For ramming, yes, but it's still not designed really for ramming, in my opinion. It does have a reinforced face, though. Is it a good idea to join Star Citizen now? It depends what you're looking for. I'm thinking of waiting for them to add one more system, but in 3.12 it looks pretty promising. Okay, so Star Citizen is not, as I said earlier, sit down and play game. It's very much an alpha. If you want to be an enthusiastic tourist, yes, it's great to look at the game and go, oh, I want my voice to be heard. I want to help develop these mechanics and talk about the game and stuff and sit down and play for a while. But it is an alpha. It's not potentially fun for long periods of time, or at least it can be tiring. If you get an org that you want to join, you can have hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of fun with the good org in the right place. But it's not a hold your hand game yet. It's not a game with proper progression. So sort of bear that in mind. It is very fun. Every major patch release though, because there's a load of cool new stuff. Is the Mercury Starrunner included in those ships that will have modularity? Potentially. They haven't talked about any of the modularity for the Mercury Starrunner. We know it's ships like the Retaliator and the Caterpillar especially. There's a few ships that have huge amounts of modularity, some ships that have a bit, and some that have very little if none. Will pets be a feature post-launch? They were a original stretch goal. We're supposed to be getting pets. Don't know exactly what forms pets will come in though. Loot boxes for Star Citizen. I mean, they might have loot boxes for Star Marine as like a joke and Arena Commander, maybe, but it's not going to be you purchase loot boxes. I mean, I can only talk what I reckon and what I think. but don't expect loot boxes for Star Citizen in any form. What is the timeline for Vulkan and the Gen 12 renderer? I was actually expecting it by the end of last year. They've been working it for a while. We're going to be getting the first phase of that, which is going to be Vulkan integration with DirectX 11, and then they're phasing fully over to Vulkan. I would expect to see that at some point this year, as soon as they can get it in. What would your perfect ground base be like? It'd be big mining base, probably nomming up a load of materials from the ground, while I'm also got a little factory there that can build ships and stuff. I don't know. It depends what the game allows. Is the thing there. Do you think we'll see more short films and other visual media like the reunion video we saw? Oh, the reunion was so good. Yeah, we would definitely see some cool machinima and cool teasers and stuff like that. The CIG love doing that. They love building that hype. And I suspect they've got a load of people that have made a load of cool scenes and those short films for Squadron 42. That also want to show off their skills. Thank you very much, Moon Masher, if I hadn't already thanked you for the sub. Hey, Bored, what needs to come online for blasting for blast shielding? For the Carrack and the Terrapin. We know that they're going to have that functionality, but I'm not sure when. Physicalized components, probably iCache, probably some tweaks to the physics grid stuff. Server meshing seems to mean pretty significant ongoing costs for Star Citizen. How do you foresee those costs being raised by CIG post-launch? What do you mean? You're just talking about general server costs. They're going to fund the game by selling new game packages and selling the in-game currency, and beyond that, they probably could do a lot of other stuff as well. It's something I will be asking Aaron or some high-level person in CIG next time I get an interview with them, because I talked to Aaron about it before, and he said, we're not going to rule anything out, but just selling new game packages and selling the in-game currency is the way we plan to sort of fund the game in the future. With the new shield tech, does the Kraken still not cover ships on the external pads? That's a good question. I don't think it covers them on the external pads still, but that could have changed. Could be they now share a shield bubble. Will the Xenothreat event come with 3.13? We're hoping that the Xenothreat event comes with 3.12.1. So before 3.13. What's your opinion on the type of Starliner, and when do you think we'll see it? Types of Starliner? So the Genesis Starliner, we don't know when it's going to be worked on. We don't know. It's obviously important for the game, those sort of ships that can carry NPCs and players to other planets, because the starports will have that just as service, just to take you around the verse. They could fund it with the loot boxes. Nice. No, they could not. Well, they could, but it would be a bad idea. Right. Do we have any other questions? So Zin at the moment is working on just updating the Start Here Star Citizen tutorial for 3.12. She's finished it, so I'll get that up later today. It's exporting
at the moment, so...
I'll get some. I've got a news video up tomorrow. I think it's probably a good shout. Just sort of like compiling all the other little bits of news that we've heard over the last week. So next week, CIG are back in the office. Well, they're back in the office this week, but they're back to their regularly scheduled broadcasts. So we should see Inside Star Citizen. We should see the monthly reports. I'm hoping we see 3.12.1 and hopefully Xenothreat next week. But we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be dependent on. Is it ready, I suspect? Do you believe Planet Tech will advance to be partially voxel for mining, exploring, crash ships for immersion? I think there will be some Star Citizen pretty tech for that stuff, but I don't think it's going to be voxel anymore. Thoughts on Dual Universe? It was really, really janky and buggy last time I played. Will they ever create a PvE server? There might be private servers in the future, and certainly some areas, some systems are going to be significantly more PvE based. Are cities like Area 18 and New Babbage going to be bigger, or are they going to be more cities on planets? Potentially both. It depends on the planet in question. There's not going to be fully explorable walk-around cities, like hugely walk-aroundable like GTA 5 or Cyberpunk, but they are probably going to have a bit more to them, and some of the buildings and other areas around the planets are also going to be there. So, do you expect additional quantum interdiction ships other than modules? Yes, I do. Or at the very least, modules. The Mantis is not intended to function inside a hangar, but how about parked on a Kraken? Yeah, potentially. Have a pint, mate. Thank you very much, Carl Lockhart. I will have a pint. Although I am genuinely considering stopping drinking. Sort of like more permanently. Just because I'm trying to get healthy. I overdrink when I drink because I'm an idiot. And I don't really massively enjoy alcohol. I'll probably still drink at special occasions. So when you see me at like bar citizens and stuff, I'll have a couple. Am I losing my mind, or do the ships behave differently in the persistent universe than they do in Arena Commander? You're not losing your mind. Those servers are significantly less under strain, and AI, for very much so, act much more appropriately in Arena Commander. Do you think we'll see a new star map in 2220? I assume you meant 2021 rather than 2201. 20,001? 20,201?
Unless he was making a joke.
He might have. So they're working on it. Yeah, 2021. They're working on new star map. I don't know when it's going to be done. Not on the roadmap for yet, indicating when it's going to be done. What's the fastest ship currently in quantum travel? It's going to be based on the drive you put in it, the quantum drive you put in it. When is the Kraken coming? We don't know. There's no indication yet. A while ago in Arena Commander, you could buy other parts for ships, but it now seems you can't upgrade your ships since no components there. This is a bug. Thanks. You can rent components for ships in Arena Commander. Anyone know when they're going to wipe our credits? They have not told us when they're going to wipe our credits again. So progress at a proper long-term persistence database wipe. Possible for when iCache is deployed. Possible for when server meshing is deployed. Definite at some time between beta and live release, though. So they reset when they need to, but they try to not reset. Polaris Q4, extremely unlikely. Much more likely, sort of mid-2022. Question, give Banner Merchantman? Maybe. I really like the brochures and materials for some of the ships. Any recommendations for non-Drake ships that are fun and interesting to read? All of them? They're all pretty cool. Perseus is pretty cool. Have a bit of a look. Perseus stuff, it depends on what sort of law you're into. 890 Jump. Pretty cool. Got a Lockhart. Lol, adding another so you can have some Starbucks instead. Oh, thank you. Yeah, because I can't touch that previous money because it was for a pint. Now I have the Starbucks. Thank you very much, Carl. Is the Idris going to be available in 2021? Drivable. So it's technically drivable now, though you have to steal it, and it's janky and glitchy, and CIG are almost certainly going to patch that hole ASAP, as have been reported in some other videos. So is it going to be a proper player ship in 2021? Almost certainly not. They're going to probably reverse it so that it is much more of an NPC ship and less of a player ship, in fact. At least in the short term. Eventually it will be in game, but probably after Squadron 42's release. Do we know when the next hotfix for the pirate missions is dropping? No, we don't have an indication of when 3.12.1 is going to be live. Gib Cutty Purple? I think Zin would like a purple cutlass. What's your
Just
thoughts?
because something's purple doesn't mean I like it.
You prefer purple, though, over other colours, don't you?
Yeah, but I don't think it's very suitable for a ship, unless it's a Talon.
Wow. What's your thoughts and feelings on components, large and small, and salvage? What? What do you mean? I like salvage. I like varying sizes of components. I don't really understand the question, sorry. When are they going to fix space hauling again? It's not worth it at the moment. You can't even fill up your cargo barely more. So, yeah, at the moment, buying and selling of cargo is broken with terminals not sort of resetting the amount that they can buy and sell themselves. So you can't sell properly, you can't buy properly. Should be fixed really soon. It's obviously a major issue that they're aware of. What's the vulture ship in the background, please? Are you talking about the Talon? I think it's the Talon you can see at the moment. Talon's in game. And the Shrake's in game as well. Will ArcCorp be worked on in the future to look more like it does in the ship adverts? With glowing orange trenches and taller buildings. So that was a faked sort of skin for the planets at the time. I think it will get updates to look prettier. But I don't know exactly what it's going to look like when it's done. It's whatever is viable, because they want it actually to be real. Like, if you see something from orbit, you should be able to go there. Do you believe that Cloud Imperium will add physical components to ships like the Aurora Mustang? Every ship. Every ship will have a full set of physical components. When do I have to talk about getting the Corsair flight ready? Whom do I have to talk to about getting the Corsair flight ready? Contacts. Thanks, PG. They'll be getting it ready when they can. There is a certain amount of resources. So basically, the people working on ships are either working on ships and ship features, Squadron 42 ships, but also they can be working on locations and space stations and all that sort of stuff and outposts, because they are very similar. So bear that in mind. Kickstarter reward repair bot anytime soon. So they did actually want to get one of the mini drones and repair bots in for 2018 originally, or 2019. I'm not sure when we're going to see repair bots and drones and stuff yet. Do you know when we can smoke degage and do the lands? No. There will be narcotics in game though. When will Cloud Imperium change insurance to lifetime insurance on limited ships like the Omega and the Saber Raven? Don't know. I think they are planning to do that, though. I would expect them to do that, is probably what I should say. Will we get more skins for the Mercury Star Runner? There will be aftermarket customization for the Star Runner in the future, and probably more skins that are very much more bespoke as well. I don't know why I'm so hyped about it, but do you know when escape pods are coming? No, I don't. But some of the tech to do that is obviously going to be used for the ship the hard docking between the P-52 and the Constellation. There are more steps towards it already, and we don't have an indication of when they're going to have escape pods in game. Do you think mocap and bucket tech used for Squadron 42 will be used as a quick job on spaceports in the persistent universe? There is mop and bucket tech on the roadmap, and yes, I do. Uh, 50 players per server still at the end of the year. It depends, Jag, on whether we're getting server meshing in, and it depends on whether they're optimizing servers before that to try and get more players in. So either of those two scenarios would allow for a lot more players in the server before the end of the year. What are you looking forward to most in 2021? The events, iCache, server meshing, and if server meshing and Pyro do come in at the end of the year, that would be great. Right. Any more quick questions? I think. Would you and Zin ever stream Dual Universe? Yeah, we might. We might in the future. We'll definitely be streaming and playing Elite Dangerous at some point. We'll definitely be streaming and playing other games at some point for sure. Can the same ship be best in show more than 1 year? Yes. What was that crossbow that was briefly shown? They're building a crossbow. It's the It was for another Kickstarter game. That Chris Roberts was friends with the dude that made it. But you're going to have a modernized, future crossbowing game. The devs in Montreal... You devs in Montreal will add cities like Cyberpunk? What? Expect them to build planets, cities, and star systems out. Will they be building Cyberpunk-like cities? No, they'll be building Star Citizen-like cities. They're not going to have like cities that are as immense as Cyberpunk or GTA 5. We'll see what they do with Terra. Terra's the most likely to be the most impressive city and most explorable city, in my opinion. So, are there any plans for ship internal automated security systems such as turrets? Yes, we've actually seen them before in Inside Star Citizens or around the verse a while ago. They are building permission systems, security systems, and that sort of stuff. So we're expecting automated turrets and the ability to have like security stations where you can open and close doors and like vent areas and things like that. So Shroud of the Avatar is the name of the game. Yes. You think we're going to get ship modules working on 3.13? So the modularity for the Retaliator, I think that's more of a 3.14 feature in my opinion. Do you think that add capital ship size components before they release the Kraken and Idris? They can fake them. They can fake them until they need them for physicalized components. All components are sort of semi-faked at the moment, and they're not part of the physicalized component system that's plugged in properly yet. How are you going to change the components on the roof of the Talon? What? You get out in EVA, or when it's landed, or at a specialist facility, or with gravity beams. What's your thoughts on the Santok Yai as a medium fighter, and do you think they'll work on it this year? I do not think they will work on it this year. Well, unless they need it for Squadron 42. I don't know if it's going to be any good. I'm waiting for the Cartual to come into its own, to be honest. When will we get boats and ships float? So they're working on ship buoyancy, I know that. They're also working on aquatic vehicles for Squadron 42's needs. So we'll see that at some point. Are there any specifics to what a science profession would entail? So a huge range of stuff for science. They've talked about farming. They've talked about crunching research data, collecting research data, scanning down anomalies, overclocking / tweaking components. There's an observatory module for the Endeavour. There's medical type gameplay. There's crafting, making drugs. There's a huge amount for science. And part of that is exploration as well. So, what do you think of Elite Dangerous Odyssey gameplay potential? I'm really excited for it. It's a shame that it got delayed, but I think that it's reasonable that it got delayed because of the COVID situation. And if they want to give it more polish, I mean, I've been covering Star Citizen for years. I think it's fine for other companies to do that. Yeah, really looking forward to it. I want Space Likes. I think it might expand the game out a lot and be a lot more fun. Yeah. We saw Habs being worked on. Do we know when they could be implemented in the verse? So they should be expanding out more points of interest in areas in game. We obviously have this sort of temporary Habs or the more common Habs in game at the moment. Expect them to expand that out, but I don't know when. It's not on the roadmap yet. It's something that they do want to get in the game earlier rather than later. Crusader when? We should see Crusader Q1/Q2. Looks more likely Q2 now. Of 2021, so the 3.14 patch. Ether Powered, a bit more love. I appreciate that money-based love. That's how you show love, isn't it? With money. Is the Pyro system coming to Star Citizen in 2021? It's possible that it could be at the end of this year. That's what I'm hoping for. That and server meshing. Say it's 50-50 in my opinion. Do you make Galaxy Girl? So I saw the Galaxy Girl video. They messaged me and said, can they use a clip from my video in theirs? And I was like, yeah, no worries at all. It was cool. Go check out Galaxy Girls channel. They did the cool little Star Citizen parody. It was good. Did you ever get your 3080? Still waiting for it to arrive. Should be any week now. Although I did email the company I got it from and they went, there is no current ETA on you getting your card. I'm 34. Will I still be alive when this game's complete? Not in alpha. I mean, there could be a war, and you could implode or spontaneously combust. So I can't answer that for sure. If you die of natural, if you die of average age of natural causes, then it's highly likely the game will be completed. That's what you wanted to hear, yeah? When is the next Free Fly event? We know that there's going to be one in May for the Invictus Fleet Week. Could be one before that, though. When will the Retaliator modules be in game? And are you excited? We don't know. It looks like 3.14. It may be. Have you ever been to C5 J Space in Eve? We will be gentle, I promise. I used to do, many years ago, wormhole sort of stuff. We live in a wormhole and go attack other people's wormholes and that sort of stuff, but I haven't played for ages. When do we get booby physics? I mean, you have them now, they're just solid. I don't know. I don't think we will get the bubblies physics. Is there an ocean planet in Odin for Squadron 42's aquatic vehicles? Good point. I don't know. That is a good point. Right. Do I have this right? After further development, there can be up to 100 players and ships in any one location, and then if I leave that location and go to another, there could be another 100. We don't know how many players will be able to be in a small area yet. Server meshing allows for potentially as many players as in an area as they need, with seamlessly sharing data between servers. But how many players can exist in a single room remains to be seen. Because they basically, dynamic server meshing allows them to spin up and spin down servers based on server population of those areas and make that area into a server, which then seamlessly shares data between that server and it's nested the server it's in and all other servers around it and all that sort of stuff. So you have these giant fleet battles with an Idris with 40 people on and a Javelin with 60 people on, and then multiples of those all fighting. Do you think that CIG... do you think it is time for Cloud Imperium to hire Derek Smirt to finish the project? No, not yet. Soon. Does Cloud Imperium plan to give any updates to Arena Commander? Yes, they will in the future. Do I have this right? After we literally talked about a second ago. You've logged 130 hours watching me, Taz. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. That seems awful. I'm sorry that you've had to endure that. What else have we got? Hello from Japan. Do you have a plan to buy the Perseus? I already have a Perseus. I bought one. I upgraded one of my ships to a Perseus. I can't remember which one. I think it was one of my Carracks. So, Perseus-wise... I plan to use it as God intended, which is to attack larger ships. It's sort of like... It's got big guns on it. It's not for taking down fighters. It's for brawling. It's sort of... The way I see it is it's trying to get in close and trying to brawl with large ships. So it would be very good against the Idris, for example, as long as it doesn't get ploughed by the railgun. I desperately want to go to Japan at some point. I think that me, Zin, DC, and people will probably try and organise going to Japan at some point in the future when the world has calmed down. Or spun back up. It's probably pretty calm at the moment. Boring. Maybe not, but I don't know. What effect will the 3.13 iCache update have on current live PU? We're not 100% sure beyond it should make for slightly more optimized servers, should make them more snappy. It would be my expectation. Will you ever LARP on stream one day? I mean, I used to LARP in the past, and probably. I'm an idiot, so yeah, why not? Is there stealth gameplay features built into NPC AI, like what they can hear and how far away, etc.? Yes, there is. In fact, and there will be more in the future, because they want proper stealth mechanics and snacking around in vents and stuff. Do you know what system they're going to go and work on after Pyro? It looks like the Nyx system, building towards the Odin system. Do you think Intel will get to 14 nanometers before Star Citizen gets released? Yeah, I do, actually. With CIG working on buoyancy, will some ships be able to sail? Well, some ships will certainly be able to be buoyant and float, and they are working on aquatic vehicles as well. From what I heard, there's going to be creatures on planets. Yes, there are dedicated teams working on flora and fauna. So people working on animals, like space cows, like there's a Yeti on Microtech, there's pyro crabs in the pyro system, which are giant Cthulhu terrifying crabs. There's Branta, there's space cows, there's a space whale, there's a load of stuff going on. Are they going to be realistic amounts or like No Man's Sky amounts? I wouldn't expect huge amounts of animals. What's the last band musician you've listened to? What, live? That would have been Baby Metal. Would that have been the same for you, Zin, Baby Metal, when we went to see them?
Yeah, and hopefully the next one's going to be Rammstein.
Rammstein,
but probably
yeah.
not.
We're going to hopefully get to see a Rammstein gig. And maybe we can get Rammstein to come to Kit's wedding.
Good luck.
If you could create your own creature for Star Citizen, what would it be? I'll give Jag and Sun God their sandworm. Yeah. Anyway, to see the in-game value of a shield generator, for example, not the price, but actual power. So you should be able to get that in the future. At the moment, you can go to Urkel's calculator. That will show you all that stuff. You love chocolate, Adder. Good job. Right. I'm going to dash off. I'm going to find someone to host first. Thank you very much for joining us today and asking lots of questions. It is very much appropriate. Very much appropriate. No, it's me. I'm talking. No. Appreciate. It's not appropriate. It's very much appreciated. That's what I was trying to say before I had myself talking on the screen and confusing me. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. It is genuinely super appreciated. Thanks for all the donations. Thanks for all the subs. Zin, thank you very much for being here as well. I am going to force you to be here more often, though. Who shall we host here? I should have asked you to find someone to host. Should we host a new Star Citizen person?
A new Star Citizen person?
Oh, someone's giving me lots of money!
What's your opinion on when Homestead will be released?
Before I host someone else then, I will answer your question, seeing you sent me lots of money. Thanks for all you do. I love your videos. What's your opinion on when Homestead will be released? So, the new points of interest that they're working on, I would expect to see this year. When are we going to see bases and or players having their own habs and physicalized addresses, like habs that you can buy in cities? I suspect they're trying to push that as early as they can and as quick as they can. I would expect to see players having physicalized addresses in cities first before building their own bases. But it depends on Cloud Imperium's priority. Obviously, with them testing and prototyping stuff on planets, it does look like they are trying to work on that this year, and we could have some interesting stuff by the end of the year. But we need to see what they've got planned on the roadmap first. We don't know their priorities, and we don't know how much work is involved with their first iteration and first stage of implementation for that stuff. So we do know that they need things like iCache first. They probably need stuff like full persistence and server meshing. Maybe not server meshing technically, but they probably want server meshing because it's just the large gameplay area. So yeah, thank you so much, Archon. Very much appreciated. Oh, you star. That's a lovely way of ending the stream. Give me some money. Right. Who are we gonna... Do we just go for someone random? New players ask me anything. What's this guy doing? What's this guy doing? There's a Disney ad on his stream. So I'm just scouting out some of these people's streams to make sure that they are appropriate and they haven't let's have a look at this person's. Thank you so much, Trigger Hippie. What a beautiful name as well. I see what you've done. You've replaced one of the E's with a 3 as well. That is very elite. Well done. What is... Let's have a look. Got this guy. Got this guy. Got this guy. Got this guy. Why are people wearing silly hats today? Do you want... It's so weird. We will... we are going to drop into this guy because he looks like he is entertaining. I'm not sure if I've hosted TV Liquid before, but thank you very much for watching me today. Very much appreciated. We'll be getting an update to the 3 Start Here, Star Citizen sort of starting player guide up late today probably. Since finished it, and I just want to get a nice thumbnail and put that up because there's a lot of new players that were talking to me, and I hadn't updated the new player guide since 3.10, and obviously that potentially going to get a load of players in for the new events, so I thought it was probably a good idea to chuck up an updated Start Here, Star Citizen guide when it was a little bit quieter in January. But as I said, next week we've got a load of the Star Citizen stuff coming back online inside Star Citizen Live, the monthly reports, all that sort of jazz, and hopefully those Xeno Threat dynamic events. And me and Zin will be doing some live stuff with them, almost certainly, and lots of videos on them as well. So thanks for watching. Oh, I know something else. If you would like to get involved with some fortnightly, so 2 weekly events that we will be doing for BoredGamer, whether they be for footage, whether they be for prizes, whether they be for videos, whatever. Zin's going to be organising some stuff with me, but she's going to be taking the lead. Go onto my discord.gg/BoredGamer and go on there, and I'll get you added to the group and register your interest, and we'll talk about some of the stuff in there. Thank you very much. Love you guys loads.